Is this thing on? Welcome back to Big Mouth and fancy seeing you here in June. A very welcome, my friends, and especially my enemies. Come in, sit down, no touching. I don't do the touching. Oh, come here, you. Yes, I'm excited to announce I have finally seen a test screening for Wonder Woman 1984. I will not spoil the plot for you. I will not tell you if this resets the dceu. I will not tell you if this is a continuation of the first Wonder Woman. I want you all to go into this movie blindly because that's the best way to enjoy it. Too many spoilers out there. So a lot of test screenings have happened, or I say about a handful at least. And some people have been coming out of there kind of spilling their guts saying that this is a kind of 80s style spy romantic thriller. And to a point, that's quite accurate. But there's a lot more to it than that. So what I'm going to do, because a lot of you have been messaging me talking about Kristen Wiig's Cheetah and having some concerns. Put your concerns to one side. Kristen Wiig's performance as Cheetah is amazing. Kristen Wiig, I knew had great quality already. And, you know, even though there's issues with the female Ghostbusters movie for a lot of people, I think her performance in that was really good and she played a good role. She did her job to the best of her ability. And she goes beyond doing her job as Cheetah. This is a really good comic book movie villain. She is one of the best, especially in the DCEU. Now, she's not Zod. She's not Lex Luthor in BVS. She's very, very different. And again, pick up a comic book and see her origins. New 52 would be a good place to start if you want to know what she's like in this movie. But she is absolutely fantastic. They really do flesh out her story from being a person, then becoming this caricature of Cheetah. It really is good. It really is amazing. Now, Gal Gadot and Chris Pine, the chemistry is even stronger than it was in the first movie. Absolutely beautiful. I'm putting them up there with Christopher Reeve and Margot Kidder in Superman the movie. The chemistry is beautiful. You believe in them. You believe in their relationship. You believe in Diana. You believe in Wonder Woman. It really is a beautiful film. So should we rank it, right? It's not fair because you can't agree or disagree because you, of course, haven't seen the movie. I'm going to say Man of Steel, BVS, Wonder Woman 1984, then Wonder Woman. They're my top four. They're my top four DCEU movies. So it's there. It really is. Now, let's remember, this film is written by not Gal Gadot, sorry. She wishes an extra writer's credit. This film is written by Patty Jenkins and Jeff Johns. Nobody else came in to do rewrites. It's their baby. Jeff Johns is a much maligned character within the Snyder DCEU fandom, but he's a great writer. And it's obvious that, you know, Patty needed him to do this film because his knowledge of DC Comics is brilliant. And he's going to get a lot of credit for this film. Patty directs another beautiful movie, beautiful VFX, beautiful shots, beautiful action sequences. Now, let's talk about Pedro Pascal. I am not going to tell you who he plays. Now, we all know Pedro Pascal is one of the great actors, and he is. And Patty did a great job of bringing him onto the project. He is absolutely brilliant in this film. He really is. I just really enjoyed his performance. You're going to enjoy his performance. How can I describe this film in terms of the other movies within the DCEU? Well, I just feel that, don't forget, Zack and Deb Snyder produced this. Jeff Johns and Patty Jenkins wrote this film. So really, it's, you know, I mean, it's difficult to say, but really, it's high. In comic book movie history, this is high quality. This really is a beautiful movie. You're going to see things in this film you did not expect to see. You're going to see twists and turns you did not expect to see. And you will come out of the theatre wanting to go back in again. You know, it's a proud moment for the DCEU. I told you before that this film, from whispers that I've been told, is a massive film for Warner Brothers and the DCEU. It's going to be, I guarantee you, the critics are going to love. Well, I hope the critics are going to. You never know with S.H.I.E.L.D. critics because of their bias towards Disney and everything. The thing is, this film is funny in places, but there's not too much comedy. It's about the drama. It's about the action. It's about fleshing out characters. You really get to know Diana a lot more than we did in the first one or in Justice League, because I think whatever you say about Joss Whedon's cut of Justice League, Wonder Woman got a lot of screen time, and her relationship with Bruce Wayne was really fleshed out. And I personally think that was the best thing about the movie. So, yeah, you know, if you love Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman, if you love the first movie, if you enjoyed at least seeing her in Justice League, you're going to get a lot out of this movie. So it really is a brilliant film. You know, it can take pride of place within the best movies within the DCEU. I think it is better than Aquaman. I really enjoyed Aquaman, as you know. You can check out my review. But the thing is with this film is it really is, it puts a stamp down. It puts a stamp down for what we can expect from the future of the DCEU. So this film, and obviously it's a test screening. We don't know how much they're going to change, if they're going to go back and reshoot things or kind of put things that they've cut out. I don't know. There was actually music in the version that I saw. Hans Zimmer's music is fucking amazing. There wasn't a lot of music, so I think they didn't put all the tracks in. But the music I heard was absolutely, you know, there's no surprise. Hans Zimmer is the fucking master, isn't he? He's amazing. So Wonder Woman 1984 is a film for you all to look forward to. I can't wait. I was so honoured that I was able to watch it. And yeah, I can tell you, get excited because this film is going to be brilliant. And I just can't wait to 2020. And I'm like Patty Jenkins. I just wish it could be released now. Why can't they just release it in November? Come on, WB, do it. Who knows? It could happen. So let's look at other DCEU news. After all, this is the DCEU Daily. I'm going to give you your money's worth. What? You don't pay me? Why am I monetized? Oh, I've got under 700 subscribers. Nobody loves me. Come on, guys. Get people to subscribe. This is ridiculous. Look at me. I'm awesome, right? Anyway, right? Just as I predicted, there's a chance we'll get a Swamp Thing movie. This is the very reason this series was cancelled so soon. But as usual, Warner Brothers didn't do the thing the right way. They could have called it a limited series from the beginning so they didn't get embarrassed. But what they did is they started making the show. James Wan's involved, obviously. And James Wan basically wants to make this a film. And I'm assuming it's going to be part of the DCEU. Anyway, right, let's read the article. The article is from Brad Miska, if you've ever heard of him. I haven't. Late horror legend Wes Craven directed the 1982 adaptation of Swamp Thing based on the Vertigo DC Comics character of the same name, created by Len Wein and Bernie Wrightson. A sequel would be released in '89. 30 years... You know what? I've never seen either movie. I should check them out. 30 years later, we'd get new television series from DC Warner Brothers and James Wan, Atomic Monster. Even with the near full support of the comic film critic community, the show was cancelled just a week into its first season. While we won't get into the details of it all, just click the link for a recap. It left a lot of people with a bad taste in their mouths. Even with the season being released in full, it feels as if we've been robbed of Swamp Thing's resurrection way too soon. Right, first of all, right, you've got a whole season. You're not being robbed of anything. I know it would have been nice to continue it, but let's read on and then I'll tell you my thoughts. Thankfully, there's chatter that this could flip into something positive, maybe even a full-length feature film based on the iconic DC character. Look, he may just be kind of having a theory here, but this is what's going to happen, and this is why the series has been cancelled. You can take it from me. I know. We got this covered. Oh, God, it's from them, is it? Oh, I tell you what, I really hate that site. They're full of bullshit. You know why I don't like them? Because they talk about a theory like they've heard something, and I hate that. If I've got a theory, I tell you, right? I'm not going to start saying, ooh, somebody told me. We Got This Covered is reporting that Warner Brothers may develop a Swamp Thing film. The initial goodwill around the DC Universe series and the backlash against the cancellation seems to have inspired the studios to consider doing something with the character on the big screen. They've been told that this wouldn't be a continuation of the show, however, and would feature a whole new cast. They also note that the producer, James Wan, would be involved. Basically, right, this was always going to happen. As I said, this is why they cancelled it. Bloody Disgusting can confirm. Bloody Disgusting, I've never heard of them. Can confirm the validity of their report and the addition that it would be a horror movie. Although it should be stressed that this report is outstandingly premature, as of this writing, it's just internal chatter. With that said, there were creative differences behind the development of the DC Universe Swamp Thing series, as it was initially developed as a straight-up horror show and eventually transformed into a procedural filler. This is true. That is factual. Warner Brothers taking the character and doing their own thing without that of WB-TV's involvement is how we'll get something special, something the character deserves after 30 years, especially if Conjuring Universe producer James Wan puts his stamp on it. Right? Whether they wanted to do it as a horror flick or not, you know, there's conversations. I've been part of conversations before. You've got a concept, you talk about tone, 1 minute it's that tone. That doesn't mean you've had a free-for-all bloody fight. Basically, that's the article. But I thought I'd read it to you. And because, look, I mean, it's really funny. They say, this is factual. Oh, because you've told us this is factual, right, that there were disagreements, we're meant to believe you. Just because a company decided to cancel something, why do you think they decided to cancel it? Because if they weren't happy, right, if WB and DC weren't happy with the creators because they were fighting about what kind of show it would be, they would have sacked them and brought new creatives in. Jesus Christ, how many showrunners does Dexter have and other shows? That's not the reason. The reason is they went in genuinely trying to make a film. Please ignore that. I was supposed to take this phone out while I was doing this video, but there's a lot of shit going on here. But anyway, right, so basically, if they wasn't happy with what it was, right, they would have just got new people in. I think, as I say, genuinely they wanted to make a good series and continue it for 3 or 4 seasons or whatever, right? But then I think probably James Wan said we can make this into a movie as good as this is. There's more money to be made when we have it as part of the DC world of movies. Maybe part of the DCEU, maybe part of the DC Black R-rated label. Who knows, right? But I would much rather see a Swamp Thing movie or a collection of movies being part of the DC world of movies than a TV series. I haven't got access to the TV series yet. I have to wait till it's on Netflix. So for me, this is exciting. If this is true, this is exciting. And this is true. Not because they're saying it, because this is the very core reason why this series was cancelled. So what do you think? Are you excited for Wonder Woman 1984? Are you going to love it as much as I did? You can comment down below. Tell me what you think out of, potentially James Wan writing and directing a Swamp Thing movie. I think he's got his fingers in so many pies, it will probably be difficult for him to actually just make this film totally on his own. I think maybe he'll produce it and get one of his New Line Cinemas directors to do it, which is cool with me, right? Because the New Line Cinema creators are absolutely fantastic. But tell me what you think about a Swamp Thing potential movie. I'm pumped. And with Anna Sarnoff, what's great about Anne Sarnoff involved now, all the problems that Warner Brothers have had, because they haven't just lacked leadership for 3 months. They've lacked leadership ever since Kevin Sugihara was implemented as CEO, because he was an accountant. He knew nothing about films. This woman, go and watch Ping Pong Flicks, Chris Wong Svensson's video. It was absolutely fantastic. He really has researched her, and believe me, I can't be bothered, but I watched the video and I found out everything I needed to know. Really exciting. So go and watch Ping Pong Flicks, go and watch Chris's video. About 30 minutes long, but worth every minute. So Anne Sarnoff is going to sort this studio out and make them competitive. This is beyond her just being a woman. She's absolutely right for this role. And as a DC fan, we should all be very excited. I'll see you tomorrow for another DCEU Daily. And please get people to subscribe. My ego needs it.